This is the Bio Bidet BB1200 Elongated Smart Bidet. If you're thinking about picking one up, I just want to walk you through my experience because I had a bunch of the same questions most people have. I've been using it as my regular everyday toilet seat, not just testing it for a day. And yeah, it changes your routine pretty fast once you get used to it. Setup was the first thing I worried about. I didn't want to deal with a plumber, and I also didn't want a project that turns into 2 trips to the hardware store. For me, installation was basically shut off the water, swap in the T-valve, hook up the hose, mount the seat, plug it in. The mounting plate lined up fine on my elongated toilet, and the seat felt stable once tightened down. The only real planning part is the outlet. This needs power, so if you don't have an outlet close enough, that's the part that can stop you. My cord reached, but it was close enough that I actually measured first before committing. Once it's on, day-to-day use is straightforward. You can control it with the remote, and there are also basic controls on the unit. I mainly use the remote because it's just easier when you're sitting there. The big things I actually use are warm water wash, heated seat, and the dryer. The heated seat is one of those features that sounds unnecessary until you sit on a cold seat in winter and realize you don't miss that at all. It has adjustable levels, and I leave it on a middle setting most of the time. The wash is the main reason I bought it, obviously. Water temperature stays consistent, and I don't run into that "it gets cold halfway through" problem that I've had on a cheaper tank-style seat I tried at a relative's house. Pressure is adjustable too. For me, the pressure is enough to feel effective without being uncomfortable. That said, if you're the type of person who wants a really strong spray, this might feel a little gentler compared to an older, more aggressive unit I used years ago. It still gets me clean, it just isn't trying to blast the paint off the wall. Nozzle positioning matters more than I expected. I didn't think I'd care, but once you use it a few times, you start dialing it in so you don't have to scoot around. The stainless steel nozzle is also something I notice just from cleaning and maintenance. It feels less delicate than plastic wands I've seen before, and it's easy to wipe down when you're doing regular bathroom cleaning. There's also a rinse self-clean routine that runs, and it's nice mostly because I don't have to think about it much. The dryer works, but I want to be honest about what works means. It's warm air and it helps a lot, but I usually still use a small amount of toilet paper at the end, unless I'm willing to sit there longer. If you're expecting the dryer to fully replace paper instantly every time, that hasn't been my experience. If you're fine with it reducing paper and not totally eliminating it, it makes sense. The seat shape is something to mention because it's not exactly the same as a basic toilet seat. Since the back area houses the electronics, the usable sitting area can feel a little more forward, and the opening feels a bit smaller than the most basic elongated seat I had before. I got used to it, but I noticed it right away. If you're larger framed or just picky about seat space, that's something I'd consider. Noise level is pretty reasonable. You can hear the water and the little motor movements, but it's not obnoxious. The slow close lid is a small detail, but it's one of those things that prevents random slams at night, and I appreciate that more than I thought I would. The night light is also actually useful. It's not lighting up the whole bathroom. It's just enough to aim without turning on bright lights. The app control is optional, in my opinion. It's cool that it exists, and you can save settings and mess with presets. I tried it, I set it up, and it was fine. But in real daily use, I mostly grab the remote because it's faster. I did have a moment where the connection got weird and I had to repair it, which wasn't a huge deal, but it's one more smart thing that can occasionally act like a smart thing. If you love using an app for everything, you'll probably use it more than I do. If you don't care, the remote is enough. Reliability so far has been good in my bathroom. No leaks, no weird heating problems, nothing like that. I do recommend checking the filter and keeping an eye on water pressure over time, especially if your water has sediment. That's not unique to this seat, it's just part of owning any bidet seat that runs off your plumbing. Compared to other bidet seats I've tried, this one feels like it focuses on comfort and customization more than raw pressure. The consistent warm water and heated seat are what I notice most over time. The remote is also smaller and easier than the big clunky remotes I've seen on older models. On the flip side, if someone told me their top priority was the strongest spray possible, I'd tell them they might want to compare a few models before landing here. If you're worried about cleanliness or sharing it with family, I get that. That was a mental hurdle for me too. The self-rinse helps, and the nozzle material is easy to clean. Realistically, it's like any bathroom item. You still clean it, but it doesn't feel high maintenance. Who is this actually good for? If you want warm water, a warm seat, and you like the idea of using less toilet paper, it fits nicely into daily life. If you have an elderly parent in the house, or anyone who has a harder time cleaning thoroughly with just toilet paper, I can see it being genuinely helpful. If you rent and don't have a nearby outlet, or you hate the idea of anything electronic on your toilet, you might be happier with a non-electric attachment instead. Overall, I like it, and I'm glad I installed it. It's not perfect, and it's not something I'd recommend blindly to everyone, but for my bathroom setup and what I wanted day to day, it's been a solid experience. If you've got questions I didn't cover, drop them in the comments and I'll try to answer based on what I'm actually seeing from using it. I will update specific information about the Bio Bidet BB1200 Elongated Smart Bidet in the comments. Don't forget to catch my next video.